Hi there, I'm Robert Thompson, and I believe that I make the cut to become a Goldwell educator. Since I started in this industry over 10 years ago, Goldwell has been one of the pillars of my continuing education. Along with the Aveda Institute and the Arojo Studio, I've also had the opportunity to work with the Milady Group, filming a technical training video for their Milady Pro website. It's fueled my passion for education and has only made me want to share more of my knowledge with others. So I hope you enjoy the work that I've provided you to judge today, because I believe that I make the cut, and I hope you think I do too. So I'm here with my model, Christy. She's got beautiful, long, thick blonde hair. We're gonna do a long layer shape today. She's got an existing sweeping bang we're gonna be working with. We wanna open up this shape, give her some more movement around the face. She's got really dense hair, so we're gonna go in with the scissors when it's dry, do a lot of our weight removal work in the interior part of the shape when it's all done and styled straight. Then we'll go through and we'll demonstrate a loose wave too to show you some versatility in her cut. So let's get started. So just basic sectioning pattern, we went with 4 quadrants. I took from her peak of her crown down to behind the ears. I want to make sure we preserve her corner. That's that vital part of those long layered haircuts where they end up at the shelf. So we're going to make sure that we keep this from behind the ear, not to the ear. I'm going to go through and create a baseline, go around to the front, create her face frame, and then we're going to blow dry and we'll put the layers and all the weight removal in while it's dry. I'm actually going to cut over top of my fingers. Low tension, so that way I can go in and refine that line when it's all done. Now body position is really important too when you're cutting hair. Hair is going to move where your body is. So normally I would be standing directly in front of my section, making sure I'm balanced, just going over my shoulder to show you exactly what I'm doing. So rough outline's done. I'm going to take down my next sections and finish off my baseline. We did do a little bit of pre-work to Christy's hair in terms of color. We used a lightener and 20 volume to give her some fresh blonde pieces, and she has a beautiful natural color, so we did some low lighting in order to also give us some extra dimension in there. That was done with a level 8 and 9 combination of golden beige and neutral ash. So only a little bit to cut here through the center. So back baseline is complete. We're going to go through and we're going to work the front now. So we're going to work with the face frame of Christy's haircut. She has that sweeping bang area that we talked about before. So we're going to bring this up into the cheekbone range. When I do sweeping bangs, I like to work opposite. A lot of times when I do the face frame, I also do the same thing. I bring it over and work it on the other side of the face so that you get a real soft line when you're working with the shears. So I'm going to do just that. I'm going to take this section and we're going to comb it over that way. I'm going to take this section now, using her cheekbone as a bit of a guide, bringing the angle over this way. I'm going to reach over my hand and again cutting over top of my fingers. Chip away at this gently, creating a fluid line that'll sweep right over to that other cheekbone. We can refine this a little bit more when it's dry, but for the moment we're just going to leave it as it is. I'm going to take another section, working basically to the high point right where her head starts to round. It's a good indicator for where those bangs should lie, right where the comb starts to rise off the top of the skull. Back over here, see my guideline through there, chipping away. You can see it start to take shape there, swinging over, hitting her cheekbone, a nice spot. We'll be removing weight when it's dry, making sure it swings around and it's a little softer. So now we'll start to work her face frame in the same manner. I'm going to take a diagonal section from her part down to right in front of her ear. Kind of a C-shaped section. See, it's going along with the shape of her head. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, bring it across her face. Start below where that bang area is. And when it's dry, I can refine it a little bit more so it flows nicely. Next section. See that starting to take shape in there. Now we're working right to where my back section finished off, right behind the ear. Just to incorporate this last bit of length. I'm watching my corner though, because I don't want to do anything with that just yet. That right across, working over my hands again. Keeping just that little tiny bit of length there so when it's dry we can go in and refine it. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Get some nice flow there. It really works to give us a fluid line around the face. Take my next section. This is her weaker side, so I'm making sure we leave that corner exactly where it is. Great. So my rough outline's all done. Now we're going to blow dry Christy nice and smooth, really get in there and have some fun with the layering and the weight removal. Alright, so our blow dry styling is complete, nice and smooth. We're going to go now through and create the layer shape. I'm going to start in the back. I'm going to do similar sectioning to what I did when I did the perimeter. I'm going to go right behind the ear. So we're going to go through and create some very blended layers, almost invisible, but when she moves around you'll see all that great swing. So taking a center profile section, lifting the hair out, tilting the client's head forward, keeping a little bit of that length through the top of the section, and just gently scooping in, creating a concave layer. Now I'm going to take the next section towards the left side of the head. I'm going to work a triangular layer pattern as I move everything to my center point. Take another subsection, bring it back to the center, keeping that client's head forward. See, there's a little bit of that layering going on. Very soft, a little difficult to see when it's all laying there, but as it moves, it starts to swing around. Then we'll refine her outline last. Back of the haircut, we're going to start to work over the top. I'm going to have her lean her head down. We're going to work a center profile. And I'm going to connect into from where the shortest layer is from the back, bringing the head really, really far forward, and then just gently blending in. Working to one side. Same concept as the back, keeping a triangular shape with the hair all moving to the center point. Basically working right to her ridge. So again, preserving that corner over here. We don't want to shorten up around her hairline there. So I've completed the left side. Maybe going through detailing a little bit. I'm going to go through at the very end to make sure that her face frame looks good and weight distribution is perfect. So I'm going to go now and work on her left side, my right side. Keeping the client's head down, bringing straight out to the body, working from the shortest layer from the back, connecting in, gently moving the shears out to the length. Same triangular section is in the back, moving to the center profile, pulling everything up to that line, working down to the ridge so as to keep the corner. Now I'm going to work with my blending shears. Christy has super dense hair, so we want to get in there and open this up so it moves around easily. I'm actually going to go in and pretty aggressively, gently opening and closing my shears, work especially this top layer section because this is what's so heavy and causes a lot of flatness through her crown. I'm going to just gently work through until it feels nice and light. Some people get a little nervous when a lot of hair starts flying like this. But this is what's going to give us that movement, that swing that she really needs. So your head back for me. So we can start to see this triangular pattern starting with the layers, a little bit shorter through the center, moving to a little bit longer through the sides. But now when you move it up and around, it kind of stays there. It's got lightness in it. This is definitely a feel thing. Get your hands in there and have the client get their hands in there too to make sure that they feel confident with the amount of weight that you've taken out. So now we have a little bit of layering across the top here. She's got some swing going on. Now I'm going to go in and detail where I see some weight. Channeling through. This is a little bit more aggressive than when I use the blending shears. This is her heavy side, so I can do that, add a little bit more movement and swing. You can also do a little bit of like a back cutting technique. That'll help create some shorter hairs at the root area. Give her a little bit more lift in the bangs when she wants to give them a little boost off of her forehead. That's especially helpful in this top section here, where a lot of people want that little bit of the lift on the crown. So then when they hit it with some spray or some volume product, it really holds that lift. All right, so we've done a lot of weight removal. It's got a lot of softness on the ends and a lot of internal motion. I put on a cutting collar for the moment because now what we're going to do is we're going to work on her perimeter line and around her face frame. So this is helpful for longer hair so we have a surface on the cape to cut. So we'll have her spin around and spread her feet out a little bit so she's relaxed. And now we're going to look at the outline. Bring your head down a little bit for me. So now we'll refine this. I'm going to use my comb for light tension. Start right in the center here. You can also freehand this if you want to. Give it a bit more of a choppy line if you like. I like to do a strong line first and then go in and break into it. You can go in and soften that as you like. You want something a little bit edgier, it's fun to do something like that. Alright, so now we've finished our perimeter through the back. Now this is where long-haired girls really want to maintain this little bit of that length in the front so they don't feel like they have two haircuts going on. So what I'm going to have her do is I'm going to have her turn her head and then lift her chin. It really exposes that corner. So now I'll just go in and make sure that this line is perfect. Then I'm also going to look at the face frame. And then maybe go in and do a little extra detailing, channel through on the ends. All right, so we worked Christy's right side. Now we're going to work Christy's left side. I'm going to have her do the same, turn her face, lift her chin. And look at this line here. Make sure this is all nice and even. Can bring it this way too, kind of over direct towards myself. Just breaking into that line. All right, so we finished the perimeter line. I think it looks great. Why don't you get your hands in there, see how it feels.
Wow, feels great.
Yeah, lighter.
Very light.
Excellent. Freed up some of that thickness so that way it can move around and swing. Especially when she styles, it would be a lot less to work with. Now we'll put some wave in it and see what it looks like with a little bit of bend.